Alright, so we're recording right now. How are you, Brandon? Sorry. Wrong name. So sorry. Oh, fuck. I'm still hungover a bit. So yeah, how you been, Lord fucking Kozuko? How you been? Man, seeing
yes, I'll be Lord Camelot.
Dude.
No.
Seeing all the drama on the internet is making me, making my IQ points lower, like, at least 2 every single day. Like, my IQ points have lowered by 2 points over the past week. Every single day for the past week over the drama that's been going on with the World War III memes and shit. I can't believe this, man. And now I'm hungover, too.
Oh, don't kid yourself. Your IQ is dropping by the second.
Why?
Be honest. You know why.
Because I turned 21 and I start drinking?
Shizzle.
But I'm not troubled. Huh? What? What'd you say?
First thing you did was immediately start drinking.
But it's because I'm a troglodyte. I'm a retard. I do not understand anything you're saying. I don't understand any of these concepts.
Okay, my little troglodyte. Okay. It's alright. Troglodyte.
Alright, let's wake ourselves up. Alright.
I'll bring you more people.
I'll bring you more people to eat. What the fuck? You're gonna get me in trouble, man.
Have you never played Fallout 3?
Oh, no I have not. By the way, I'm gonna try to wake myself up as much as possible for this fucking recording. So, what the topic of today is Final Fantasy VII Remake being, well, canceled pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a bit peeved about that. The Final Fantasy VII Remake managed to get held back a little.
Yeah, delayed. Just like my brain.
Which is getting on my nerves. Like, why did you have to do this to Square Enix? Why have you done this?
What have you brought upon this cursed land?
What have I done to deserve this?
We have done nothing to deserve this. Am I right? Ear rape.
What? Paracelsus on I don't need you, Paracelsus. Crawl back into the gutter and just, go back to your alchemy experiments. I don't need more of you.
Alright. So we're here, we're playing this Final Fantasy game. This is gonna be a 20-minute recording before we talk about Fate GO in 2020 in the next recording. And I know you guys are definitely excited for that. Especially with our Fate GO expert here. And actually, I'm
actually Fate Grand Order. Oh boy, fun time.
I'm actually going to actually buy Fate for my PS4.
Oh, that's great. You can tell me how that goes, because I know what servants are in there.
Huh?
I know what servants are in the PS4 games.
Which ones exactly?
Okay, so in Extella Link for Archer, we have Archer Emiya, though he is called the Nameless Archer, and for his Noble Phantasm, while yes, he will do a very quick version of his actual chant, you know, I am the bone of my sword, okay, how did it go? I am the bone of my sword.
So, as for Final Fantasy VII, why do you think it was delayed? Why do you think Final Fantasy VII Remake was delayed? What made it delayed?
Oh, how about the fact that most of the animators and whatnot had left the team? Actually, a lot of Final Fan, you know, the people who were originally making Final Fantasy have left the studio, either being fired, you know, being let go and whatnot, or just outright quitting due to conditions.
What do you mean conditions?
So that's a pretty big problem there. Well, for instance, the pressure. You know, it's kind of expected, oh hey, you gotta get this out on time, and it's like, well, shit, we lost like half of our people and now everyone's expecting it on time. How are we gonna do this? You know?
Yeah. So, what? Don't you think this has to do a little bit with the drama with Tifa Lockhart, and her being censored, being who?
Yeah, it's because Square Enix does bend to that road. At least a little bit. Now, granted, depending on which part of Square Enix you're looking at, they can be outright douchebags to that crowd, which is absolutely hilarious. But there are also other parts that would rather pander to the crowd just so that they can bring in a few extra players.
So, what you're saying is that Square Enix is really trying to rough up the show just so they can get more attention on the game. They're trying to be like Keemstar, pretty much.
Not quite. That is part of the... That's part of the issue, because remember, they're a business. They need to pull in as many people as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they have to please the investors. But, as I said, depending on which part of Square Enix is working on the game, they could just flip the double bird and just be like, no, F this.
So they could be like, F this shit.
Thou shalt not listen to thine false prophet.
So do you also think that this also has to do with all the hentai the little hentai memes that's been going on with Tifa Lockhart, and not only that, but the fact that people are really pissed at Square Enix just over a clothing item? And the fact that that's not coming out on PC until later on.
Okay, so part of that may be trying to make sure they get as much perfect as they can, so that they can at least make up some face for this.
I can't hear you. You sound far away, man.
Oh, hey,
you sound far away.
It's actually taking longer to develop. There.
Yeah, okay.
That should have probably fixed it.
Yeah. So basically,
I turned down my media volume.
Yeah, okay. So, what were you saying?
Part of the issue... Part of the issue may actually be they weren't ready to release it yet. You know, it isn't a finished product. Because here's the thing about, you know, game design, game development, you know, most of the game making processes. I've actually looked into this. Oftentimes where you have a projected deadline, oftentimes games are held back simply because they aren't ready. And it's better to release an actually finished product on time than to release an unfinished product that, you know, everyone hates simply because you had to meet the deadline. Many, you know,
So
game designers and game developers follow this idea that
So basically,
pretty much. And if you want to look at someone who's really famous for this idea, Hideo Kojima. Almost all of his games have been masterpieces, and why? Because of this specific philosophy. You know, after the first couple of times, people came to expect, hey, you know, the Metal Gear game is going to be held back, or, you know, in this case, Death Stranding is going to get held back. Simply because he wanted a more finished and actually working product in the end. You know, something you can sit down, play, and enjoy. Not sit down and play, run into bug after bug after bug, and hopefully get some enjoyment out of it before they ask for the next one.
So Hideo Kojima, isn't that the guy that made Metal Gear Solid? Or am I
Actually, he's been working on it since the original Metal Gear series. But he's no longer part of Metal Gear anymore. In fact, he left Konami and made his own studio, Kojima Productions, which was at one point a subsidiary of Konami, but when he left, he took his studio with him. The first game they actually made, you know, his studio on their own, was Death Stranding, and even that should have done excessively well. So, I have high hopes for him in the future.
So, yeah, are we going to talk about why I kind of quit MMA? For temporary times? I don't know, temporarily quit MMA? Oh, fuck. Can't concentrate.
Wait.
Huh? Huh? I mean, I guess the crowd would
like it. Temporarily put anime on hold?
Yeah, temporarily put MMA on hold. Yeah, pretty much. But my grammar is starting to become so unpossibly weird.
The main reasoning why he put MMA on hold, if you guys really want to know, is just due to a lack of cash. You know, he can't go out and train as much as he used to anymore.
Hey, that's insulting.
I'm just gonna get out there and say it on it. I'm gonna.
That's a true,
He's doing YouTube and being an IT guy for a hospital, guys.
What?
He has to.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I really want to go back to MMA, but
I'm telling them how it is.
Yeah, I ain't got no money, man. Like, I ain't got no cheese. I ain't got no...
Here's the thing, mate. You be honest to your fans, we'll be honest to you. Not to mention, if you lie to your fans, well, the murderous mob comes for you.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't lie to them. I literally have no cheese, man, and I literally live in low-income housing, so...
But, anyway. So, yeah, that's why he put MMA on hold. He just can't afford to do it. Trust me, if he could, he would.
I've also been getting a lot of chungus, guys. Any advice for that? Alright, guys. So
stop eating the chungus.
Stop eating the chungus. And as for As for the MMA fight I had back in November, guys, I don't know why it's only on Twitter and Facebook and not on YouTube. I think, I don't know, fuck it. I don't know if Coach Red wanted me to put it on YouTube, so I just didn't. But you can always view it on my Facebook group. All 20 of you. Only 20. What?
Anyway.
Yeah, as for going back to Final Fantasy, I really hope it goes well. Like, I really hope the delay actually makes the game a bit better.
So, one thing I'm hoping for Final Fantasy, and this is going to be something that's really going to draw me in, is the secrets. Because the original Final Fantasy VII had a shit ton of secrets, and really hard bosses to beat if you didn't find some of these secrets, like Emerald Weapon or Ruby Weapon.
Fun fact,
So,
my coach,
I would really
UFC fighter Nate Diaz, is actually a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII. He's actually played the original one when he was in college. Coach Red also played it in college too.
Well then.
I'm pretty sure you're watching this now, Coach Red, so I'm sorry I gave out your secret.
Hello.
I mean, people
But
it'll
I
probably
would
get more friends.
really like to see, you know, a lot of those secrets come back. I would personally like to see a lot of those secrets come back, and even maybe have a few extra secrets added in. Now that not only do we have better graphics, there's also better control systems available, especially if they port it over to Xbox One and PS4. If it's a PS4 exclusive, though, that may be a pushing force for me to get. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if they keep all the old secrets and possibly add new ones. Maybe even make them a little bit harder to get to and actually complete. Because remember, even though this is an era of, oh, this game's so hard, you need to have level of difficulty, especially with Final Fantasy.
You could always
Otherwise,
just like with Final Fantasy 15, you could always make a difficulty for beginners and one for experts.
Yeah, but that would kind of go against the spirit of Final Fantasy VII. It was inherently difficult to be difficult. You know, it's from that age of, hey, we can do this because we can.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind that's gonna turn off a lot of potential newer fans from going into the game. Because if you look at it, nowadays we're in the generation of, I want the game easy. Especially with console gamers. And
games like Dark Souls.
Huh?
Just look at games like Dark Souls and you see the exact antithesis of your state. Dark Souls literally shows gamers want difficulty. Death Stranding, gamers want difficulty. Basically, Souls-like. Gamers want difficulty, and they explode.
But what about people?
Basically,
what about people that are not used to this type of game? And this is their introduction to the JRPG genre. What would you say to them? They will turn off a lot of potential people from the.
I suppose.
Because if you look at it, most people that. Oh fuck.
I suppose you could add some sort of an easy mode, but it would have to have some sort of specialized trigger, so it's intentionally put on, not an, oh, this person accidentally did this, and all of a sudden, the game's not going to be hard. Like, if you're going to make a game easy, you better make sure the person understands.
I'm talking about putting on, like, choosing a difficulty before playing the game.
Well, see, if you do that, you deprive them of at least the potential starting experience. I think rather the trigger should be somewhere in the tutorial, where it's an action that you perform.
Hmm.
Or perhaps the game is put on easy or hard mode depending on how well you do in the tutorial. And the game may fluctuate on its difficulty depending on how well you actually do in combat. You are too under-leveled for some areas, well, they'll give you some slight lenience with a partial handicap. But when you get too high of a level, they start turning the handicap against you to sort of balance out the game. So it's never too difficult.
So pretty much,
you can't beat it,
like the Tale series games.
easy.
So pretty much like it is in the Tale series games, where like it is Tales of Vesperia, for example, where if you get to a certain high level and you go back to that particular place, all the demons all the monsters are pretty much the same level you are, and you can't change it. Because you have earned this much of a level, and you've gone back to pretty much, you are in an area closer to where you started the game, but the game also is not forgiving and telling you, yeah, we're gonna just leave the monsters at the same level they were when you started at this particular area in the game.
Completely go off of, it's just based on levels. There's some issues there because, for instance, the main part of a JRPG is grinding so you get stronger than any potential competition. Granted, that grind gets much and much harder the higher level you get. So, in that case, as I said, the balancing system may work off of levels, but it's only a partial handicap. Not, the monsters are all your level or anything. Like, maybe monsters suffer a minus 20% difficulty. Well, not 20% difficulty, but 20% attack. They suffer minus 20% attack due to maybe a random hailstorm that showed up because you're just so low level that the game has to take pity on.
What do you think about the Tales of series?
Through this, and now the game has to be handicapped.
What do you think about the Tales of series?
I haven't, played them myself, and I have barely watched your stuff on it, to be entirely honest.
But if you look at the Tales
from
series,
what I've heard of it, it's actually pretty neat.
It's actually pretty what? Pretty
From what I've heard of it, however, it's actually pretty decent, and something that I would personally like to go play.
It's actually very good.
Whenever I should finally be able to do it. But back to the mechanics that could possibly be in Final Fantasy. First of all, secrets. Definitely want there to be more secrets. Definitely want there to be more secrets and harder to get secrets. But another thing is that handicap system. Maybe you get handicapped because you're just so strong. Okay, well, because you're getting handicapped because you're being so strong, perhaps, things change throughout the environment. New materials show up, new weapons and armor become available to you, stuff like that. Because you're getting handicapped. It's kind of a reward for that, but also when you go back to your normal level area, it's like, hey, everything's not, giving me a penalty anymore. So it's a bit of a give and take situation. Nothing gets too hard, but also nothing gets too easy. It gives you just the right amount of spice there. And if you go by difficulty based on performance, it may take 2 or 3 battles before the game realizes, oh crap, you have no idea what you're doing, do you? And then it begins to lower the difficulty a little. Not like actually giving these debuffs or anything in the form of a handicap, but actually making the game a bit easier for you. Of course, you could honestly just put in a select your difficulty in the beginning, but I just feel like that goes against Final Fantasy in general and JRPGs in general. Giving them an easy or a hard mode at the beginning kind of doesn't fit there. The point is that they're difficult, but if you're willing to slog through it, it becomes easy. And it doesn't make sense to just destroy that because, oh, everyone now wants an easy game. Well, if you want an easy game, just suck at the game long enough. You'll get there. Just sit there and suffer for like 5 minutes. Trust me, it'll get easy for you real quick.
Yeah, I was wondering how we would get past that little problem of these little 5-year-old kids getting introduced to the JRPG genre.
好きに行きゃいいだろ。終わる前でもその後でもよ。聞いた限りじゃシドニーもだいぶ腕がいいらしい。
So yeah,
But that's just
last thing I would like.
that's my
Last thing I would love to bring up is what do you think about, since you said you personally play the Tales of series games, what do you think about Tales of Arise? I personally think it's pretty cool that they're going to bring next gen graphics into the game, and they're not going to stick to the very cartoonish anime-esque kind of style. What do you take of that?
Okay, so I haven't actually heard much about this Tales of Arise. I've heard nothing too major. Honestly, I have no opinion on the matter due to my lack of information. If I actually sat down and researched this for, a couple hours, I could probably give you an in-depth, ideology on this, but I unfortunately haven't done so. This is my first time even hearing of Tales of Arise.
Alright. So guys, I think that's enough for our little Final Fantasy talk. And I hope to see you guys later. So I'll see you guys in the next Fake Geo gameplay, where we're going to talk about Fake Geo in 2020. Like, that's going to go over well.
Archer's chant is again.
What?
When I figure out what Archer Emiya's chant is again, we're going to talk more about Fading Stella.
Phoenix Stella. That's the one that's on PS4, right?
Yes.
Alright guys, see you guys later. See y'all losers, you virgin son of a gun, later.